What's going on, guys? It's Clutch Plays here, and there's been a whole lot of Knicks news as of recent with the Knicks coaching situation, draft prospects, trades, and so much more. However, since there's no basketball going on right now, the rumors about teams trying to trade players and players requesting trades are going through the roof. Just in the past 2 weeks, rumors about CP3, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, and Lauri Markkanen have all come out saying that they could be traded in some sort of way in the future. Immediately, all different kinds of mock trades start flying out everywhere, and the Knicks are linked to them in some sort of way. CP3 and Donovan Mitchell have been affiliated with the Knicks in the past and have connections to the Knicks' current president, Leon Rose. These pre-existing connections that Leon Rose has are definitely going to have a big play in who Leon decides to go after in trades and free agency, which in my opinion seems a bit concerning. It makes complete sense to go after guys he has connections with who fit the Knicks team, but attaining some of the players that have been rumored to come to the Knicks is kinda scary. On the bright side of things, many rumors have come out saying that Julius Randle will be available this offseason, and he doesn't seem to be in the Knicks' long-term plans. He puts up pretty incredible stats and all, but he's not a winning player whatsoever. There's a stat on Twitter that showed that in his entire 6-year NBA career, his team has never finished better than 12 games below 500, which is 29-53. On top of this, he eats up the shot clock and hurts the development of all the young players because of his play style. Most of the mock trades created by Bleacher Report include Julius Randle, but for some reason the Knicks are giving up way too much in all of them. In this video, the 5 superstar mock trade should be the maximum the Knicks should give up for these players, and if the opposing team doesn't like it, then they can walk away from it. Trading too many assets or even trading for a star player should not be one of the Knicks' priorities, but there are a couple situations that it could make sense. I would really appreciate it if you guys liked the video, and with all emotions aside, let's get right into the trades. Number 1, the Chris Paul trade. In this trade, the Knicks received CP3, the Heat 2021 first-round pick, and the Clippers 2024 first-round pick in exchange for Julius Randle, DSJ, and Bobby Portis. Some people are all for Chris Paul and are willing to give some valuable assets, but if we trade for Chris Paul, we better be getting some picks in return. He's a 34-year-old point guard who turns 35 in 3 weeks and on one of the worst contracts in the entire NBA. He has 2 years, $85 million left on his contract, which will have him being paid $45 million as he's on the brink of turning 37 years old. He has had a lengthy injury past, and most of the injuries have been with his lower body, so this trade would absolutely kill our cap space for a mentor. The reason for trading for him is that he's a winning player and can help teach the young players winning ways. He will be a great help to develop whatever point guard we select in the draft and give them the ability to pick the minds of one of the most intelligent point guards to ever play in the NBA. Trading for Chris Paul, though, destroys our cap space for the loaded 2021 free agent class, and there is no way that we will make any deep playoff run with him. Hopefully Leon Rose can keep personal relationships and basketball away from each other because this move makes very little sense. And honestly, I'm not even 100% sure if the Knicks should even propose this trade. They might have to add a couple picks more. Number 2, the Ben Simmons trade. The Knicks received Ben Simmons and Shake Milton in exchange for Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Frank Ntilikina, DSJ, and the Mavs 2023 protected first-round pick. The 76ers have all the talent in the world, but the combination of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid has proved to be terrible, and their games don't complement each other whatsoever. The 76ers are going to look to trade one of the two after this underperforming season, so Ben Simmons could easily be on the move. Ben fits the Knicks timeline as he's only 23 years old right now on a contract that locks him in for 5 more seasons. This season, Ben averaged 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists while being in contention for Defensive Player of the Year with his 2.1 steals per game. He will be in the prime of his career on the Knicks and is already an all-star with a lot to improve with his game. He dominates in the interior, and his game revolves around him driving to the basket and creating shots for himself and his teammates. RJ would have to be included in a Ben Simmons trade because of the current NBA. Having 3 non-shooters in Mitch, RJ, and Ben would not work out too well. After trading for Ben Simmons, the Knicks will be in a prime position for the future with tons of future picks and a great pick in this year's draft. With so many good shooting guards like Tyrese Maxey and Anthony Edwards available in the draft, the Knicks could find themselves in a great position to compete for top-tier free agents in the 2021 offseason. The only reason the Knicks should not go all out for Ben Simmons is because all he had to do this offseason was become a threat from 3-point range, but he failed to create any sort of shot. His shot will at least take another season or 2 to develop, so adding any big assets beyond RJ would be a huge mistake. Number 3. The Donovan Mitchell trade. The Knicks received Donovan Mitchell for RJ Barrett, the Mavs 2023 protected first-round pick, and 3 early second-round picks from the Hornets and Pistons. Donovan Mitchell is furious at Rudy Gobert after this whole situation and says that their relationship is unrepairable. This is interesting and could very easily lead to the Jazz parting ways with their young star for a crazy return. The Knicks are not necessarily in the position to trade for a star, but if they can get their hands on a 23-year-old star, they should make an effort to do so. He's an all-star caliber player in the Western Conference and has led the Jazz to multiple playoff appearances in a row. He's shown that he's a winning player, but more importantly that he can play well around other great players. This trade basically exchanges RJ for Donovan Mitchell, which turns a player who has potential to be a star into a young player who is a star. The Knicks are able to keep their 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years and gives them a ton of flexibility for the future. The biggest reason that this trade would be great for the Knicks is that it sets them up perfectly for the 2021 offseason, where high-profile names like Giannis, Victor Oladipo, Anthony Davis, Drew Holiday, Kawhi, Paul George, and so much more are all available on the market. Things change quickly in the NBA, and if the Knicks can show to these top-tier free agents that they can win a championship in New York, it will be very hard for them to pass on this opportunity. With all the future picks and young players that they still have, there are still so many opportunities to get another star to surround Donovan and Mitch, whether it's another trade, the draft, or free agency. Donovan grew up a huge Knicks and Mets fan and already has a great relationship with Leon Rose. The Knicks once again shouldn't give up too much to make a trade for a star, but if the opportunity arises to make a trade for Donovan, they should 100% make an offer like this and maybe even add a bit more. Number 4. The Joel Embiid trade. In this trade, the Knicks received Joel Embiid for Mitch, Julius Randle, Reggie Bullock, the Clippers' first-round pick, and the Mavs 2023 first-round pick. The 76ers are in a weird situation because they need to split up Joel and Ben Simmons and are leaning towards trading away Joel. The issue with this is that Joel Embiid has had a ton of injury issues, and this will significantly affect his value on the market. When he's healthy and playing 30 to 35 minutes a game, he's the most dominant center in the entire NBA. He has a big body on the interior, blocks shots, and has an incredible post game. His combination of talent and size is rare, which makes him such a coveted player. The Knicks should stay out of the sweepstakes, but if the Knicks can package Mitch and a couple of late first rounders for him, this would be a complete steal. The market for Embiid is probably a bit higher, but due to his injuries and how much the 76ers would want in return, a trade with the Knicks is pretty unlikely. So with that said, stop making stupid mock trades of Embiid coming to the Knicks where we're giving up 4+ first round picks. And our first round pick this year. It's just not going to happen. Number 5. The Rudy Gobert trade. This one may be a bit controversial, but the Knicks received Rudy Gobert for Julius Randle and the Hornets 2022 second round pick. This may seem a bit low from the Knicks, but Rudy Gobert is not as pretty as his game reflects. He's a great defensive player, he's won multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards, and he's been a decent offensive player. This season he was averaging 15 points, 14 rebounds, and 2 blocks, all in 34 minutes per game. These stats do look pretty great, but he clogs the paint on offense and hasn't become a threat to shoot a mid-range jumper. The reason that this is a huge issue is because he's in line to get paid a max contract in free agency during the 2021 offseason. To compete for a championship, the player who's getting paid the max must be the second or third best player on a championship team, and since Rudy is a center, I don't know if he really fits this criteria. Rudy will have very little value on the market, as we saw with the Andre Drummond trade, because Drummond went for literally nothing. Due to this, a small market team who has trouble attracting big-time free agents like the Kings may throw a lot more at the Jazz for him. However, if the Jazz want to make a deal, the Knicks should listen to the offer. Even though Rudy doesn't fit this team, if the Knicks can get off Julius Randle's contract and get a great mentor for Mitch, it seems like a no-brainer. On top of this, the Knicks can flip Rudy at the trade deadline for a bad contract and picks to help a team with their playoff run. All in all, if the Jazz agree, the Knicks should be willing to make this trade as long as they use Rudy in the right way. At the end of the video, I did want to say that the Knicks shouldn't go after a star player via trade unless a really great opportunity arises. For example, if a superstar like Anthony Davis would come to the Knicks in free agency if the Knicks trade for a star, or a star player requests a trade trying to get his way to New York. The Knicks' main focus should be this upcoming draft and getting the right developmental coaches, Kenny Atkinson, to get the most out of this extremely young core. Tell me if you guys would propose these trades to try to get one of these star players if the opportunity arises, and how much would you guys be willing to give up for a star player like Donovan Mitchell or Ben Simmons? Also, what are your thoughts on the whole CP3 situation, because there are a lot of mixed reviews on it, and I'm kind of curious what you guys think about it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if so, make sure you leave a like. Now with this said, I'm out, and peace!